Hey guys, so here I am. I am coming to you live from St. Helens, Oregon. Woohoo! Yeah. Anyway, just thought I'd call and share some things with you on where I am today. Today I am, well, I am full of the Spirit of God. I love Him very much. He is everything to me, 24/7. My life doesn't stop. It continues. I'm always doing something. I have a million projects going on. Some of my favorite projects right now is I'm working on. I have a couple of. Well, actually, technically, I have 4 electric cars. I've got a golf cart. It's a limo cart. It's 48 volts. It's an old beat up 80s cart, but it is a limo cart, which is cool. Limo cart meaning it has 3 rows of seats, so it'll seat 6 people on a golf cart. I did last summer. I did a little crazy lift kit on it and gave it an 8-inch lift and put some pretty big wheels on it. It has a car body, so it looked kind of funny sitting up high up over the wheels. But other than that, let's turn this. Other than that, it's a pretty cool car. It with 8 batteries, it goes roughly 22 miles an hour on flat ground and down the hill maybe, until last winter. Actually, so I've had it for a while. Last summer I had it going, and then the winter came, and my son, my middle son Brandon, took it in the snow and went down a hill. Coming up the hill, with some passengers, and it was really working. It was peeling out and stuff. And the terminals, I had not maintained the battery terminals, and they got a weak connection. And if you know anything about batteries, you get a weak connection, and you put a large draw on them, and they're going to heat up. And so it did. It heated up and it melted 2 of my batteries. No big deal, right? But those batteries are expensive. They're like now a big old 6 volt golf cart battery is $250 or something like that, you know? And it has 8 batteries. So, but luckily my cart will run on 6. So I took the 2 that melted out. I cleaned all the terminals of the other ones, and and then I just bypassed those 2 batteries. So it's now running on 36 volts instead of 48, and that's okay. It's slower. It doesn't go as fast or as far. And so then I picked up a couple of other cars. Well, actually, I'm always looking at golf carts. It's just kind of my hobby, I guess. And I found something called a gem car, GEM, gem car. It's a Chrysler gem car, 2002. And it's an actual vehicle. It's a low speed vehicle that looks like a golf cart. So, and it's electric as well. It's got 6 big batteries in it, but each of those batteries are 12 volts. So it comes up to 72 volts. It's a 72-volt vehicle. This is a 4-seater. So you got the driver and a passenger, and then you've got a rear seat with 2 more. So a total of 4. The good thing about this one is it's got a windshield and a windshield wiper. It's street legal. You can register it and get license plates for it. It'll go with the regular 10-inch rims on it and the little tires. It'll go about 30 miles an hour, which is pretty fast. I mean, not speeding. For around town, oh, you're cruising around 30 miles an hour. You know, that's okay. It's not that bad. But I found that if you put the bigger wheels on it, say some 14-inch rims with 26-inch UTV tires on it, it'll look really spectacular, kind of a crazy futuristic utility, urban utility vehicle kind of a thing. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm got the wheels. I got to put a lift kit on it, which I mostly have to modify the lift kit and make my own, because it's a really simple lift kit. It's just some plates that bolt on. You jack the car up, drop the axles down, unbolt them and drop it down, and then you just put some extension plates in there. Pretty simple. But in doing that, you can put the larger wheels on it, and the larger wheels will basically give it longer legs, and your 30-mile-an-hour cart will now go 40 miles an hour. And then I learned that there's a governor on it that keeps it at 30 miles an hour, and it would have gone almost 40 anyway if you just remove that governor. So without the governor and with the bigger wheels, it might go 45 miles an hour. It's definitely gonna go a lot faster and look a lot cooler. One downside of that one is, again, the batteries. I got it from an old man in Coos Bay. I went down and picked it up from him, and I tried to get it for 15. The guy wouldn't take any less. He's like, "Nope, I want." What was it, 18? I think it was 18 or 16 or something. I don't even remember. They sell for around 5, or people ask around 5. I don't know if they sell, because I've looked online and the same ones that were for sale for 5 are still for sale for 5. So I gave him 1,600 for it. I think that's what it was. And then I went and picked it up all the way down in Coos Bay and brought it all the way back here to St. Helens, which is a couple, 2.5, 3 hours each way or more, maybe 4 hours each way. That's dedication, right? But it was cool. It's got this egg-shaped little car. Sorry, I don't have a picture to show you here, but so I got it home, and the old man said he never charged the batteries and he never drove it in 3 years. He brought it home to his house when he bought it, parked it, and never got back in it again. It scared him because it's a tin can, or it's really open doors, and well, yeah, it's like a golf cart. So anyway, the batteries will charge, but they don't hold a charge. So I was able to charge it and drive it around the block a couple of times and then bring it back before the battery died. So I know it all works at least, but the batteries are weak and they need replacing. Again, the batteries are expensive. Who wants to spend that much money for batteries? I know I don't, and especially if they're only going to last a few years. Golf cart batteries, their lifespan is 3 to 5 years. So if you go out and you spend, oh, I don't know, $1,200, $1,500 on lead acid batteries that weigh, gosh, they feel like they weigh about 100 pounds a piece. I don't think they're quite that heavy. I think they're more like 80 pounds a piece, but they're huge and they're really heavy. 4 of them go under the back seat, and 2 of them go in the front under the hood area. Well, that's like I said, $1,200 at least for batteries, for decent ones, and I didn't want to pay that. So what I did, I started looking into lithium upgrades, and a lot of golf carts you can upgrade the batteries to lithium. It costs more than lead acid, but it's better in so many ways. For one, it's way lighter. You'll lose a lot of weight, battery weight, if you swap it out for lithium, and the speed of the golf cart will maintain the higher fully charged speed, because as you go in a normal golf cart, you drive every day, and drive every day. You're driving all around town throughout your day, and maybe you start off with a fully charged 48 volt pack, which is 54 volts, and then by the end of the day, you're down to like 46 volts, and your batteries are depleted, and you need to get home, because you can only go down to 60% of the battery capacity with lead acid. With lithium, the voltage, you can charge up to 58 volts on a 48 volt pack, and it'll stay at 58 volts all day. And it doesn't drop off until you get like to 10% of capacity. And at that point, when the battery drops off, you need to be close to home and get that sucker home. There's gauges, though. You can put a gauge on it so you know how much you've pulled out of that battery throughout your day. That really is the way to go. They'll last 10 years or so, thousands of charges and recharges, and yeah, and you're going to lose, several hundred or probably 400 pounds of weight off of your golf cart by swapping over to lithium, and that's great. Back to the gem car that I got, the 6 batteries, are toast, pretty much for the most part. And so I started building a lithium pack of my own to replace the 6 batteries. I'm going to put one lithium battery pack up in the front, and it's going to sit in the place of 2 batteries where the 2 batteries were, and the other 4 will be deleted, pulled out from under the seat. So that cart is going to lose, I don't know, 300 or 400 pounds of battery weight, and then it's going to have a lithium pack of 100 amp hours, which is about what the 6 batteries originally had. The difference is you'll be able to run it down to 10% instead of 60% of state of charge. Meaning, ultimately, this new pack that I'm building will give me a range of, estimated range, because I haven't put it in yet, 35, 40 miles at 40 miles an hour, 35, 40 miles an hour. So that's pretty good, honestly. That's pretty good. This pack that I'm building, the total cost, doing it DIY, about $1,600. Not cheap. By any means, not cheap. But it's a little more than the lead acid, but less than trying to buy a pre-built lithium pack, which I don't think you can get a 72 volt pre-built lithium pack. You'd have to buy 2 36 volts and put it in there. And by the time you do that, you would have paid several $100 more than what I paid to build my own. So anyway, got my gem car, gonna jack it up, gonna put the big wheels on it, gonna put the lithium battery pack in it, probably going to paint the whole thing with some bed liner type stuff. I haven't bought that yet, but we'll pick a good color and kind of make it look sort of militant, kind of like that, kind of utilitarian looking, or urban assault vehicle, blah, blah, blah. I don't know, so to make it look kind of cool like that. And then put some antennas on the top. I'm planning to put a little 2-way radio in there. Just got one off eBay. Hasn't got here yet, but like a little UHF 2-way GMRS radio. I just recently started getting into GMRS. This is a GMRS radio, and it works, kind of like those Walmart walkie-talkies, except it goes a lot farther, has a lot more power, and you can hook it up to repeaters, which are basically towers up on hills or something, and when you connect to a repeater, everyone within range of that repeater, you can talk to any of them. So it gives you an extended range, preferably across the whole town, is the plan. I put up a repeater in my own backyard. Still working on that, but it works. I just need a taller antenna to get a farther out range. Anyway, so those are some of my projects right now. Got the 2 little gem cars. Oh, I told you I got 2 gem cars. I think I only told you about the one I got from the coast. There's also another one I was just kind of scanning through Facebook Market and looking at golf carts and stuff like that, because, like I said, that's kind of my little hobby. And here one pops up. And I don't remember what the guy said he wanted for it, but I offered him a really low ball offer. I'm thinking, he doesn't even know if it works. He got it, and it's just the way he got it, and he wants to get rid of it. No keys, no nothing. It's a 2-seater, not a 4-seater. I just told him, I'll give you $300 for it. I messaged him. I didn't think he'd accept it. To my surprise, though, he did. He responded, and he says, "Sure, you come and get it, and it's yours." Wow. Okay. So I was kind of on the hook for that one. Grabbed my little trailer, and where did I have to go for that one? It was also not that close. I had to go a little bit of a lot of journey to get there, and I went, picked up that one. We pushed it up onto the trailer, and it only had 4 batteries in it because 2 of them were missing. It has no key. It has yeah. So I don't even know if that one runs yet. But for $300, it's pretty cool. I also rounded up some used wheels and tires, the same like the other ones that I got for the first cart to jack it up and put on. So now I've got 2 sets of those 26-inch UTV wheels. I'm going to put on both of them, and I'll make them kind of match. So we've got a 2-seater and a 4-seater, both jacked up, both with the little radios in them, and cool lights and stuff like that. Little flat beds, stake beds on the back, and yeah, antennas. I think it's gonna be pretty cool. Buzz those things around town, get them both registered, and yeah. And then as far as my golf cart goes, I still love my golf cart. My son is telling me, "Dad, you got your gym cars now, and those are pretty cool. You should probably think about maybe getting rid of the golf cart." Hadn't really thought about that, but he might be onto something because I'd rather sink the money into the more car-like thing that I could drive around, and it's more legit anyway. Anyway, so yeah, these are some of my fun projects. As far as the GMRS radio goes, putting up a tower. I picked up a used ham tower. It's like you know, a built structure with a needle at the end. It's an antenna, what they call it, an HF ham antenna. I don't know much about ham radios. I don't even know much about GMRS, but I know enough that I'm figuring it out. The higher you get the antenna, the better. And so I picked up a cool tower. Probably going to mount that in the ground somewhere and set up a shack or a shed. Call it a radio shed, a radio shack, and just run it off solar. Put some solar panels out there. I've got a bunch of solar panels. Another project. I got 30 solar panels to set up, and so I don't want to put them on my roof. They're used old solar panels. Not that they're ugly or anything, but this is a new house. I don't want to go up there drilling holes in the roof and doing things like that. I do want to utilize the solar panels soon, though. I got about 7,000 watts worth. If you put them all together in the sun, should be bringing in about 7,000 watts. My thought here is I also need a new chicken coop and a chicken run, and I need some rabbit hutches or rabbit cages area, and I also need just a little room for the radios, and then we've got a swimming pool we got a new heater for it. It's actually runs off natural gas, and I'm going to need a place to put that heater. We've got it in the shed out there, but the natural gas line that I tried to run out there to it turns out is way too small. I mean, I tried to put half-inch line for 100 feet. Not going to cut it for that big, huge heater that puts out 250,000 BTU or some crazy. Nice heater. It's going to heat that whole pool, but yeah. So I ordered the 1.5-inch big old yellow 250 feet worth of 1.5-inch gas line and all the fittings to go with it, and that's a project in itself. I'm gonna have to dig some ditches and put that in and get permits and all that fun stuff. So, and I have a garden shed, but it's not really over by the garden, and that's where the pool heater is and the pool, the unconnected pool heater. So my thought is I can build a bigger unit with the roof covered in solar panels. And these solar panels will be used to, well, one, run the GMRS repeater tower antenna. So if we lose the grid for any reason, I won't go into, there's all kinds of reasons why it could happen. Not saying I want it to, but if it happens, I'd rather be a little bit prepared and have some comforts of normal living. So it would be nice to have the solar panels on a large roof with the chicken sheds and the rabbit cages underneath and a little room for the radios, and maybe park the electric vehicles underneath and charge those as well. Makes sense, right? Makes sense to me. And then put it all up by the garden so that when you pick things from the garden, weeds and things you don't want to eat, or even vegetables that are not the best, you can give them to the rabbits and the chickens. You can, and they'll just rip through it and eat it up and create more fertilizer, and they themselves can be food. Yeah, it's a whole big vicious circle, but everything kind of ties in together, right? Just a little bit. Let's see, is there anything else that ties into this big, huge plan? And that's all I can think of at the moment. So all that stuff just kind of goes together in a what if the grid went down scenario. We'd have mobility, not only for ourselves, for food, and for and to go and drive and exchange chickens for vegetables, or vegetables for chickens, or items or something. We could go help people. You give them a ride to medical, or give a doctor a ride to their house. And how would they get a hold of you? Well, maybe the GMRS radios, if they could manage to have some communication, so we can communicate with the community, and help out, help people out, and exchange, and they can help out, because gardening is a lot of work. Tending animals is a lot of work. Harvesting animals is a lot of work. So, and drying fruits and vegetables and things, and getting the seeds out of them, all of that is, that's work. Plowing, fertilizing. No, I don't mean self-fertilizing. Okay, well, hopefully our restrooms will still work. But the rabbits, the rabbits have great fertilizer. Their poo can go directly on the garden, and so that's awesome. I heard it's some of the best fertilizer. If you were found a way to like blend it all up and spray it out onto the garden, seems like that'd be even better. The chickens, very aesthetic. Their fertilizer, but I heard that's not bad either. You got to mix it right. So there you go. That's where we are today. We got a lot of projects. They're not all done. In fact, none of them are done yet, but they all tie in together into this one big scenario, scene, utility thing. And that's where I'm at. I've been working on it little by little. We built this house, or had it built, and we've been here almost 2 years now. Well, actually longer than that if you count the time we lived in the camper on the property while the house was being built. And we didn't get a mini storage or anything. All of our stuff went into these tents, Harbor Freight carport things. The ground soaked up moisture through the ground and got the bottoms of anything wet. Everything from wood to boxes to clothing we had stored. A lot of stuff got ruined. The tent was falling apart and needed to be moved and emptied out. And we had been living in this house for over a year and hadn't bothered emptying out the tent and or looking for anything in there. So basically everything in that tent was, we didn't need it. But I couldn't justify just throwing it all away. I have to at least sort through it and go, okay, this is garbage, this is not, this, I'm tossing this, and this is not. So I've been doing that too. I've been cleaning the yard, sorting out all that stuff from the tent, throwing a lot of it away. The other tent I have set up now over on the gravel, I've been putting stuff in there up off the ground for yard sale type stuff. So anything from the first tent that is still good, but we don't need it or want it or miss it, it's going in the yard sale tent. A lot of that stuff, though, even though it's good, I'm still throwing it away, just clearing it out, making some space, deleting some things. And that's what I've been doing this week. Just clearing things out, trying to pick my battles. Yeah. So that's it. That's what I got. Thanks for watching, and peace out.